For a decade, SUVs have dominated every driveway. But the Volkswagen ID.7 quietly exposes something uncomfortable. Sedans never stopped making sense. We just stopped paying attention. The real problem isn't that crossovers are bad. It's that they've become the default solution to every transportation need. Families buy them for space. Commuters buy them for comfort. Empty nesters buy them because it feels safe to sit higher. Over time, a practicality slowly turned into conformity, and few buyers stopped to question whether that height, weight, and aerodynamic compromise actually serves their daily lives. And that's the gap the ID.7 is designed to address. Electric vehicles magnify inefficiency. Extra ride height and bulk directly translate into reduced range or larger battery packs, which means higher cost and more weight. A traditional sedan profile, especially one engineered around an EV platform from the start, restores a kind of efficiency logic that SUVs can't easily replicate. The ID.7's long, low silhouette isn't nostalgia. It's physics. The result is strong real-world range without resorting to oversized battery packs that inflate price and charging time. For buyers who commute long distances or rely on public charging infrastructure, that matters more than 0 to 60 bragging rights. But efficiency alone doesn't solve the emotional side of SUV dominance. People migrated upward because crossovers felt practical. So the ID.7 answers with interior space that feels deliberately generous. The long wheelbase creates rear seat legroom comparable to many mid-size crossovers. The hatch-style cargo opening, subtle but important, delivers usable storage without the vertical bulk of an SUV. In day-to-day life, that means groceries, luggage, and strollers fit without penalty to aerodynamics. There's also ride quality. Lower center of gravity. Less body roll, more stable highway composure. Over time, that translates to reduced fatigue. If you spend hours each week on the interstate, the ID.7's calm, planted character feels less like a statement and more like a relief. Now, pause for a second. SUV dominance wasn't only about space. It was about perceived security and versatility. So the ID.7 doesn't try to compete on rugged imagery. It competes on refinement. The cabin is clearly aimed at buyers who want technology integrated into daily life without feeling experimental. Larger displays and updated software exist here to reduce friction, quicker climate adjustments, more intuitive navigation, fewer layers of menu diving than earlier electric efforts from Volkswagen. That's significant because early EV adopters tolerated quirks. Mainstream buyers won't. From a market positioning standpoint, the ID.7 sits in an interesting space. It's not chasing entry-level affordability, and it's not presenting itself as a luxury disruptor. Instead, it occupies a rational middle ground, closer in spirit to long-standing executive sedans than lifestyle crossovers. In some markets, it indirectly replaces models like the Volkswagen Passat, but with an electric-first architecture that feels future-oriented rather than transitional. Here's the perspective shift. Imagine you're not choosing between a sedan and an SUV. I'd imagine you're choosing between efficiency and inertia. SUVs carry visual presence and social familiarity. The ID.7 offers long-term coherence, lower running costs due to efficiency, predictable handling, less tire wear from excessive mass, and potentially stronger range stability over 5 to 7 years because it doesn't need to push its battery as hard to move its body. Resale is always an open question with EVs, but brand stability matters. Volkswagen has committed substantial global resources to its electric platform strategy. That reduces the risk of this becoming an isolated experiment. Buyers who plan to keep a vehicle for 8 to 10 years should care more about platform continuity and service infrastructure than about launch year excitement. The ID.7 is not for buyers who equate value with vertical seating position. It won't satisfy someone who frequently loads tall furniture or tows heavy recreational equipment. And it doesn't attempt to project rugged versatility. It's for drivers who quietly want their vehicle to make structural sense again. Daily usability is where it ultimately makes its argument. Easy ingress without climbing. A trunk that swallows luggage without requiring a step ladder. Stable highway tracking in crosswinds. Efficient energy consumption that reduces charging stops on longer drives. These are not dramatic advantages, but they accumulate. And that accumulation reframes the tension. SUVs became dominant because they promised more. More space, more visibility, more capability. The ID.7 suggests that in the electric era, more can quietly become excess. More weight, more drag, more cost. Sedans didn't stop making sense. The market simply stopped prioritizing their strengths. The 2026 Volkswagen ID.7 doesn't try to win by being louder than SUVs. It wins by being quieter, more efficient, and more structurally aligned with how most people actually drive. And in doing so, it reminds us that sometimes the smarter solution isn't the taller one. It's the one that never abandoned balance in the first place.